Hi, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Rihanna, and welcome back to Fresh Off the Broke.
Fresh Off the Broke is about personal experiences growing up Asian American in a predominantly white community, Asian media, and Asian pop culture in general. Race has always been a sensitive topic. Every day there are debates over race. With our podcast, we intend to shed light on the experiences of first-generation Asian immigrants, not put them on a pedestal.
We understand that race isn't everything, but there should be an acknowledgement of people of color, the knowledge gap, and the racial divide that will ideally be broken. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the episode. Today's topic is not so subtle Asian traits.
Yes, and before we start the episode, we want to wish everyone a very happy Asian Pacific Heritage Month.
Yay! Clap, 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 clap.
Applause.
Yes.
Confetti. Golden confetti.
Yes.
Specifically.
And fortune cookies.
Yeah. I actually love that. I feel like, you know how at some shows or some ceremonies they'll rain confetti?
Mm-hmm.
What if it rained confetti, like golden confetti, and then, but fortune cookies, I think, would it hurt?
Probably.
And then they would
They just
crumble on the ground.
they'd shatter into a bunch of pieces.
That's sad. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Don't picture that. Picture golden confetti raining down on all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then before you, there's a nice table, like a beautiful table, kind of like at banquet with catering. And then at the front of the table, you have these lovely decorated plates with fortune cookies on them.
Yeah, with your names on them.
Decadent.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. I like the image.
Mm-hmm. That's the image we're walking into this episode with. Yeah. And so by not so subtle Asian traits, the reason why we're talking about this topic is because in honor of Asian Pacific Heritage Month, we want to do like a chill little conversation about day-to-day or small like Asian things or traits, because like subtle Asian traits, if you're not familiar, it's like a super popular Facebook group that started a few years ago that was dedicated to kind of like sharing Asian memes, and then it became a huge community. I mean, people like Simu Liu are on it. And so that's our title today, or our topic today, is a play off of that. And the not so subtle part is just kind of about how you grow up thinking that one thing is normal, or like doing something is normal, but then everyone does this. Everyone thinks this way. But in reality, no, not everyone thinks this way. It's actually just an Asian thing.
Hence the not so subtle part.
Yeah.
So when we were thinking of different not so subtle Asian traits for this episode, we realized that they actually kind of fit into different categories, very organized of us. And one of those categories are just regular day-to-day not so subtle Asian traits. So, for example, a not so subtle Asian trait would be respecting elders with specific titles or actions. I mean, personally, I grew up thinking that there was just like every culture had their own version of like elder titles. Or not like elder as in like old people, just like people older than you. So in Tagalog, you would call an older girl, or like an older sister, ate, or an older brother, kuya, stuff like that. And I thought this was like a universal thing. And then there was like a white person equivalent. And I was very surprised when I realized that there actually isn't.
Yeah, a lot of people just go by name,
Mhm.
which is interesting because it's not necessarily a good or bad thing because it kind of speaks to the way that different cultures view family
Mhm.
and the hierarchy in a family tree,
Mhm.
which in some situations can be harmful, and then in some situations more just like, yeah, I just call someone this
Yeah.
because that's just what we do.
There's also a Filipino like action for respecting elders. So you like mano when you like when you
Oh, I've heard of this.
yeah, it's when you like come home, you like mano to your parents or your grandparents, but like more specifically, I think this is more relatable for first gen kids in specific. It's whenever you go to parties and you have a family gathering, you have to mano to every single auntie or uncle or lola or lolo, anybody, even if they're not related. So basically, when you mano, it's you take the elder person's hand and you put it on your forehead, like the back of their hand on your forehead as a sign of respect to the older person. And there's this like running joke that when you enter a party, it takes you like 30 minutes to actually go around the entire house, look for every single older person and mano to them. You have to make sure that you go up to every person. And then your mom's always nagging you, being like, did you mano to everybody? Did you mano to auntie? And yeah, it's it's a process, I would say.
Very strenuous. I think you mentioned this on a past episode before.
I think I have, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember you were saying something about how they would make you mono your white relatives too.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's also, I'm sure that's also a pretty big first gen. I guess it's a subtle Asian trait when you like awkwardly have to mono to the white guy. You don't know if he knows what it is or if he does. And it's
Yeah,
like,
especially if they're a new member of the family.
oh yeah. And it's just like oh, what are you doing here? Taking my hand and putting it on your forehead. And you just awkwardly reach over and it's like, mano. You just take their hand. Very awkward experience. I'm sure lots of first gen kids can relate to that.
Yeah. That's imagine it's like, why are you touching me?
Yeah, for real. I'm always scared about that, but
Yeah, they just flinch.
yeah.
I didn't know that it was something that you would do when you get home. I knew about the parties and thing, the greeting, but I didn't know that it was like a actual. I mean, this is under day to day for a reason, but I didn't know it was day to day in the sense that it was like literally every day when you get home.
Well,
Someone might
see,
do that.
there's actually a funny story to this. So, I also didn't know that technically it's like when you go out to school, like you spend the whole day out and then you come home, you see your parents home, like you mono or whatever. Or like your parent comes home from work, you mono them, you know, like one of those types of things. And when I was younger, this is funny. I like whenever my dad would come home, I would mono because he'd come home like in the evening. And then my mom, like she was just like a stay-at-home mom. So I would be with her throughout the whole day. And one time, just as a joke, my mom asked me, like, oh, you always mono to your dad, but you never mono to me. And I was like, well, mom, you never leave home, so I don't need to mono to you. Because I was young and I thought that it was just a like, oh, like when you come back home, you like greet your parents with a mono or whatever.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of right.
Yeah. Because like it would be weird if I just like went up to her when I spent the whole day with her, you know?
Yeah. Imagine randomly after lunch.
Yeah,
You
like
just-
that's weird.
how how do you think she would react if let's just say she didn't say that and
And I
then
did it.
yeah.
She would find it weird.
Then why did she want it?
I don't know.
What if you monoed her today?
She'd be weirded out because I never do.
Then do it this one time.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, let
You
me know
also
how it
like
goes.
do it in church too. I've seen like
To people in church or
no,
to
no,
people
I
you know
mean
in
like
church?
with your family. Well, this is a I don't know. I don't know if this is actually a not so subtle Asian trait or if it's actually just me, but I've seen it. Sometimes like at the end of church, you'll mono to your parents. And I see like other Filipino families, like they'll mono to their parents or their grandparents, whoever's with them at church once it's over. So yeah, maybe that's a universal. I don't know.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know if this is relatable or
Yeah. Or if this is just a me thing.
not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point of this is that technically the things here aren't that relatable
yeah.
because they're kind of only relatable to Asians.
Mhm.
But let us know if what Rihanna said is something that happens
Yeah, please.
to anyone else. Yeah. And I mean, speaking of addressing people differently, honorifics
Mhm.
and like having a polite version of saying something versus a not polite version of saying something
Mhm.
is also pretty Asian. I mean, in English, of course, you can
You can tell.
you can choose to say things
Yeah.
in a more polite way.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Because it's almost like you're speaking a different language.
Yeah. It's a completely different phrase altogether in English. Like
yeah, and this is something that's pretty prominent for Koreans as well, right?
And in Japanese too, right?
Yes, I think so too. Oh, and I mean, we've mentioned this before in a past episode, but the whole thing, like you were saying about calling an older sister something, or calling someone who's like older than you something, that's also, I mean, maybe it's more of a not Western, not American thing, because I'm sure there's non-Asian cultures that also call people by different things. But I don't know, because like for example, for Chinese people, some some guy would prefer that you call them like the older brother term, or like some girls will prefer that you call them the older sister term if they are your elder, and it kind of becomes a thing. Let us know how relatable that is.
Yeah.
If you've heard of that.
I always
or if you're not Asian and you know. Pardon?
I always like that.
Yeah, I like calling people.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. When I go back to China and I see family, friends, or like guys that are older than me, I'll call them like the older brother term.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. It doesn't really hinder you in any way. What's the difference between calling them that and calling them their name? Yeah. I mean, that's a difference, obviously, but
yeah. It's very cute.
Yeah. I agree. It's like a universal nickname almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else is a day-to-day trait? This is like not related to words at all, but using umbrellas for any weather.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Walking down the street.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's pretty common for Asian people, especially East Asian people, because to walk out in the street in like broad daylight if there's sun, it doesn't even have to be the summer. Sometimes it's just the sun is out and they'll have an umbrella. And like we've mentioned in the episode about tanning and skin lightening, it has to do with them not wanting to look tan. And there's sometimes there will be like aunties that are so crazy about it. Like even an ounce of, I don't know if you could say an ounce, a ray of sunlight cannot even touch them. And I've had experiences where it's sunny and then they immediately bring out their umbrella and they're like, come on. It's almost like
vampires like running.
Yeah, or like get under the I don't know, like the covers. Yeah, almost like that. The thing that I feel is an even greater standout though, and I have seen this, I mean I see this every winter, but Asian people, they have their umbrellas out in the snow. That has nothing to do with the sun. It's just more like I don't want to be snowed on. Or even honestly, if you use the umbrella when it's raining, and this isn't an Asian thing, but if you use the umbrella when it's raining here, that's seen as a weird thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of the time, even at school or something, if it's raining and I'm out with an umbrella, it's almost like I'm the weird one.
Yeah, because people just like they just book it, just run instead.
Yeah,
or like walk.
People will say, "Oh, it's just a little bit."
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, it is a little bit, but I don't want to
be wet,
rained on.
Yeah. Like you're still walking nonetheless. Like.
Yeah, and also, if you're running when it's raining, you get more wet.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, watch the. I remember, I think it was in physics class. My teacher was talking about this, and then he showed us a video by Miss Butters about running in the rain.
Nice.
Y'all should check that out if you want to. Yeah. And also, and then there's the people that when it's pouring, they'll just be casually walking.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe some of them actually don't care. And then maybe some of them have just given up. They're like, oh, well, I can't really do anything. Yeah. Oh, actually, growing up, I would have like a Canadian or like white classmates, and it'll be raining, and they have an umbrella with them. Literally in their backpack, and they won't take it out, and they'll be drenched.
The heck?
And I'll ask, like, oh, why don't you take your umbrella out if you have one? They're like, too lazy.
It's right there. That's the whole point of it.
Isn't it more work if you get drenched and then you have to, I mean, outside clothes, indoor clothes, but still, you're going to be drenched and then you have to clean yourself off and then go through this whole process.
Yeah.
How do you, I don't know.
Weird. No point.
Mm-hmm. Talking about growing up, one thing that I still am confused about would be the concept of allowance.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because I guess this isn't a not so subtle Asian trait. It's more of a
POC.
Yeah, more of a thing that POC are confused about.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, why do you get paid for existing?
Yeah.
And some people get a lot of money for allowance.
And like, obviously some people will argue like, oh, I do chores around the house and that's why I get allowance. But it's like, okay, we do
get paid for doing chores?
Yeah, like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I never heard. I mean, I have heard of it, but I mean more like in my family, no one would do that.
Because that's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I feel like if I were to have a kid and have to raise them as you do,
yes,
I wouldn't want to pay them to do chores. Because here's the thing. I know that people think that that's leveraging because then it's giving them an incentive to do the chores.
Yeah.
But my personal philosophy is that I would rather teach them the necessity
Yeah.
for cleaning up after yourself.
Yeah.
And I would want them to believe that that would make their life better. Like, oh, aren't you happier? Or don't you like it when your room is all, don't you like it when you can see your floor?
Yeah. It seems like you shouldn't need to have money to take care of yourself. I mean, you shouldn't feel the need to be given money in order to take care of yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And also, I don't know, when you're young, when you're so little, and then you're given, I don't know, $50 a week, what are you doing with? I mean,
Yeah,
I
what?
guess it would be different if you were trying to teach your kid the concept of money and the allowance was, because I have heard, this is not super common, but I have heard of some Western families where they give their kids allowance, and then when it comes time to go like clothes shopping, they will make the kids quote unquote pay for the clothes, and then they have to think about what they want to buy and if they have the money for it, which would help teach them about the value of money and spending. But that's not the norm.
No.
That's a very specific scenario or specific type of parenting. Yeah, I don't know if I mean, this would never happen, but if my parents wanted me to do something like chores, and then I said no, and like, I'll give you $20, I don't know if that would make me want. I mean, this would never happen, like I said, but I don't know if bribery. I mean, plenty of people would be like, oh, $20, yeah, I'll do it. But I don't know if bribery is the answer.
No, I feel like that's a bad tactic into getting your kid to do something. Because then it's like, you want me to do something? Give me money then.
Yeah. And then when they're older, they might grow to when someone wants, if they don't get anything out of something, then they'll never want to do it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of like cleaning and taking care of yourselves, hoarding plastic bags is, I would say, is a pretty not so subtle Asian trait.
It's the least subtle one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's subtle in the sense that it's probably hidden away somewhere, unless it's not, if you're one of those people. Actually, I'm curious, where do people keep their bag of plastic bags? Because my family, we keep it in the drawer, or not the drawer. Yeah, I'll call it a drawer. The drawer underneath the sink. And it's this giant bag, probably from clothes shopping or something, or appliance shopping. And though there's there's one or two of those really large ones, I guess, at the outer shell, and then there's a bunch of plastic bags inside. There's the clear ones, there's the grocery bag ones, and we will often use the grocery bag ones as garbage bags for little garbage bins everywhere. And then the clear ones we will use sometimes for umbrellas, going back to the umbrella thing, or for storing stuff. And then we, aside from a bag of plastic bags, we also have a bag of recyclable bags.
Oh.
Like paper bag.
Oh.
Kind of like the stuff that you get from the mall or whatever.
Oh yeah, true.
And we have the hoarded plastic bag. I don't know if that second one is as relatable. Let us know in the comments.
I think more people collect those because I've seen a lot of people reuse those like paper bags. I mean, especially the ones with the handles because they are very nice bags.
Yeah, people will reuse them. Actually, yeah, you're right. That's probably a way more relatable one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you keep your?
Also underneath the sink.
That's great. We should. What if one day we compared our giant bag of plastic bag.
Mine
I
is
don't think
actually a tub. It's like a plastic, not box, but like tub, I guess.
Mine's a giant standing. It stands on its own.
Really?
I mean, I guess it doesn't, but it does.
That's
In a
impressive.
way, it's tall. It's yeah.
That is impressive.
We should one day. I don't think my parents would be happy with this, but if we took our stash of plastic bags and then counted,
Oh my gosh.
maybe I should do it when they're not home or if they're just busy with something.
Yeah, that would take a while.
And then later they'll see and what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing to our bag of plastic bag? I mean, I'm just keeping count,
Yeah. Just making
taking
sure.
inventory,
Yeah.
spring cleaning. Yeah, it is actually that works because this is the time of spring cleaning.
Yeah. Spring counting, if you will.
Spring inventory.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our next category of not so subtle Asian traits kind of
It's like an award
stems.
show.
Yeah. Imagine an award show of the best not so subtle Asian traits.
I think that would be fun.
I would. We should do that one day. Comment down below if you would like that.
Yeah, and we'll live stream it. And
Yeah.
the awards could be like little fortune cookies.
That would be cute.
And then we would actually get the gold confetti.
That would be cute.
I'm so down.
Me too. Well, in our next category, it is somewhat related to the first day-to-day trait that I brought up, which was respecting elders with specific titles. Because when you would use that language, it would be, as I said, at a party most of the time. And that is a special occasion. So this category are just occasional, not so subtle Asian traits. So, for example, let's say you are at a nice little dinner for a special occasion and you are given a gift or someone is given a gift. You have the obligation to adamantly refuse that present if you are given one.
Oh my gosh. I'm thinking about Red Pocket because the fight to not take the Red Pocket
Yeah.
is so crazy. The way
Wait, isn't there an ad?
yes, I think it's for Nike.
Yeah.
Let me check.
I don't know if we've talked about it on podcasts. I think we have.
And, what was it called again? I'm just gonna say Red Pocket and see if I can find it. Oh yeah, it is Lunar New Year's: The Great Chase from 2 years ago.
It's a very good ad.
Yeah, it is, and it's so true. Because you're just not allowed, and it can get a little out of hand. Because at a certain point, it's just, I mean, it's all for show, but
Yeah.
at a certain point, just take it.
Yeah. Like at a certain point, you are supposed to give in and take it.
But like some people take it too far.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we've had enough of this. Just take it. We know that this is just for show.
Yeah. The thing with presents too, like they have the present and you're like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can only say that so many times before it
Yeah.
starts getting rude.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's the same thing with compliments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess isn't exclusively an Asian thing, but it kind of plays into humble culture
Mm-hmm.
for Asians, where someone will, I don't know, say you're pretty. And then sometimes people again, will take it a little too far, where it's almost like they're offended that you even complimented them.
Yeah.
Like, how could you say that? I'm so this and that and the other thing. And then it kind of gets awkward.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, never mind, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, plays into that whole like Asian humble culture.
Mhm.
Oh.
Remember that family friend or that lady that's told that I needed to be more humble?
Yeah.
When all I did was just thank her. What did you want me to? Okay. Sit down, be humble.
People are rude.
Yeah. How do you compliment someone and then they thank you and are pleasant? I don't want to say pleasantly surprised, but it's just, let's just say pleasantly surprised by the compliment and then thank you. And you go, you need to be more humble.
So rude. It's like, no, you do.
Yeah.
Jeez. But yeah, speaking of humble,
Fighting for the bill.
That
That-
also gets out of hand.
It does.
I feel like this category is just fighting.
Yeah, really, it really is. Because this is probably like the worst one. Because people will actually fight. The poor waiter, waitress, whatever, will just stand there and be like, listen. Whoever
Have people
said
sit on the
first.
bill before?
pardon?
Wait, sorry, you were saying something. I interrupted you.
Oh, no. Just people fight. And the waiter is in between all that. Sucks.
Mhm. The question I was gonna ask was, have you ever had someone sit on the bill?
Like physically?
Yeah,
No.
I've had.
Jeez. I've had people hide the bill, not actually sit on it. That's
I've had hiding too, but there's this one uncle I have that will literally sit on the bill so that no one gets it.
dedication.
Yeah. But the thing with him, yes, dedication, is that he really doesn't want anyone to pay, and it's not for show.
That's good.
And so he will purposely just have the bill with him. And he doesn't sit on it every time, but he has sat on it enough time for me to mention it
That's
here. Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I should
Because
try
what are
that.
you gonna do? Rip it? How are you
Yeah.
gonna pull it without? Get that a hand. My God! And then the yelling.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, or the people secretly going up to the
Yeah.
hostess or where you go to pay, and then paying before the meal is over. Like, oh, I'm going to the washroom.
Yeah. Man, the amount of times that like I've tried, or like my family has tried to do that, and then like subtly try to pay, and then the person is like, oh, sorry, the people you're with actually already paid earlier, and it's like, I really thought I was being slick, but no.
Yeah.
I've
really
been
thought you
I've
did
been
something.
outwitted. It's an
That's so
actual fight.
funny. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, actually, because we're talking about fighting the bill, one thing that a lot of Asian people can be confused by, just like how we were talking about the allowance thing,
Mhm.
is going Dutch, like splitting the bill.
Oh yeah.
They see it, and I've heard people say this all the time. They think that Westerners, because they split the bill, they're not as close. Because
Mhm.
they think that everything's about equalizing or
Mhm.
about doing your share to a very strict degree. I've had my parents have said that before.
Yeah. Honestly, like the way that I see it is that if you're with a close friend, like if it was like me and you and we went out to eat, then we'd probably split the bill or like
Mhm.
pay for our own food. But if it was
How do
like
you know we wouldn't box?
we would box, but like for different reasons.
What?
Just for fun. We just box.
The poor staff.
Yeah. Not even over the bill, just boxing.
No. Imagine one of us shows up to the restaurant early and then waiting for the other one. It's like, oh, let me know when you're here yet. And then when you're here, as soon as you open the door, I've been waiting for
Yeah.
you. And then you start boxing. That's so.
Just swing.
It has world star hip hop energy.
Yeah, it really does. I think we should do that. If we ever vlog, that'll be the first vlog.
We would be, no, that's like the worst thing to do as an internet person.
We probably get lots of views.
Yes.
Just
And
two
then
girls box each other as soon as they see each other.
I don't want to be a public nuisance or a menace to society. Boxing on our own time.
Yeah, I mean,
Not in a restaurant. Restaurant owners go through enough.
For anyone listening, don't actually box your friends. Don't take the advice of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Whatever Rihanna just said, pretend she didn't say that.
Disregard that. That was a joke.
Yeah, I don't even know where that came from.
But yeah, fighting for the bill. Anyways.
Boxing.
boxing for the bill. That's what it should be
A
called.
roundhouse kick.
Yeah.
I can't get the image out of my head. We need to get out of here. Moving on to a less fighting style or less aggressive one. We have saying goodbye perpetually
Yeah.
at the end of an event. I'm gonna put this on the screen, but there was a meme I saw, and the text post saying the 5 stages of Asians saying goodbye. Number 1, the initial goodbye. Number 2, the goodbye in the kitchen. Number 3, I feel like Watch Mojo. The goodbye in the living room. Number 4, the goodbye in the doorway. Number 5, last but not least, the goodbye while you're sitting in your car with the engine running and they're still talking.
Now, I would argue that there's actually more stages to that. Or there's a possible next stage that actually loops the entire thing back to the top, which is you were in the car after having left, and you get a call saying you forgot your jacket.
Oh my gosh.
You have to go back and redo the goodbye all over again, all those stages. That has happened to me before.
That happened to me too.
And it's just terrible because it's like as soon as that 3 hours of saying goodbye has finished, you think, okay, it's done, it's fine. But then you get that call and it's like, oh God, I have to do it all over again.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if the second time around it was super quick? Like, oh, thanks, bye.
Yeah. I always try to do that. Just grab it and go. Don't even
Yeah.
say goodbye because you've exhausted me from my goodbyes. It's over.
Sometimes when I say bye to my Asian friends, obviously there's no 5 stages of Asian saying goodbye, but I'll do the thing where we'll do the thing where we keep saying bye. It's like bye
Yeah.
bye, bye bye,
Bye.
bye bye.
Yeah. Even on the phone. But I think that's not really an Asian thing. That's sometimes people just do that on the phone. Like you don't know
mean-
when to hang up or who
Oh,
to
I thought you were
last.
I thought you were talking about the people that go like, no, you hang up.
Oh no, ew, no, not that. Just the like, okay, bye, and then you say bye, and then I say okay,
Yeah.
bye, and then it's just a loop forever. The
Yeah. Well,
perpetual.
see ya.
Yeah.
The one thing I kind of never really understood about the no you hang up thing is, because I've never seen someone talk about the no you hang up thing without being mad the person hung up. Like, oh, what?
Yeah, that's true. It's like, wait,
But-
you actually hung up on me?
Yeah. What is the ideal outcome that you hang up at the same time? But it wouldn't happen because you'd be
Oh.
like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up.
Ugh,
No, you hang up.
so glad that's never happened to me ever.
I don't think I've ever done that either.
Gross.
I hope to not.
Yeah, no.
If either of us ever do that, we have to come on this podcast and issue a public apology.
Yeah.
And then be sentenced to, I can't think of something on the spot. Be
Public-
sentenced to the 5 stages
Yeah.
of
Goodbye.
Asians saying goodbye
Yeah.
with the bonus jacket stage.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, that's enough motivation for you to never do that.
Yeah, no.
Not that you were planning on it.
Well, on a more appetizing trait category,
What a transition.
we have the food category.
Which kind of does fall under connected occasions.
Yeah.
Bills.
Fighting at a restaurant.
No,
Good food.
we're ending the fighting thing. I can't. No boxing. I don't know how this became a topic, but no. I need y'all to comment. No boxing at restaurants. I need y'all to stand up with me against Brianna and put an end to this. Anyways,
Anyways,
food.
yeah. Rice.
What about it?
Just rice.
That's the whole
period.
sentence.
Yeah. Rice. Or just having a rice cooker.
Mhm. Rice cookers are actually really versatile.
Mm-hmm.
You can, I mean, obviously, but you could just, because some people, they will in college or just in general, for dividing for time, they will cook an entire meal
Mm-hmm.
in a rice cooker, which I think is cool.
Very crafty
Mm-hmm.
and less dishes. That's good.
Yeah, especially with climate change.
Mm.
I feel like, yeah, that would help. And then another thing about having rice cookers, I noticed that a lot of Westerners or non-Asians, not always, some of them will get a rice cooker, but because they don't eat rice every day or that often, they will use a pot and steam their rice. Oh, I've actually seen, never mind, I was gonna say I've seen someone steam it in a pan, but I think I might just be making that up in my head.
Hmm. That would be weird.
Do you have a rice cooker?
I do. Okay, here's the thing. We did have a rice cooker, / we do, but we never use it because we are a very small family. And we don't like when rice goes bad or like hard and you just like can't reheat it and all that. So we use a pot because it's smaller. Like our rice cooker is big.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's too big.
When do you get to the big rice cooker?
I don't know. Like we use it whenever we have like people over and stuff like
Mhm.
that, but it's way too much for just us to finish. It's like not worth it. So we use pots.
I see.
Yeah.
My rice cooker is small / normal size.
I always wanted to buy like just like a nice cute like
Oh, like a little one.
yeah, like for myself. Like a pink one.
Do it.
They're so cute. They
Yeah,
play
I should get
little
you. I should
songs.
get you that as a housewarming gift.
Oh my gosh. Not that I'm moving out anytime soon, but like, yeah,
Well, what if you moved out for the sake of having?
for having a rice cooker.
Yeah,
That's
that's a perfectly normal reason
yeah,
to move out
yeah.
in this economy
Yeah.
and buy a house,
Hmm.
not an apartment, a house.
Yeah.
And I'll get you your rice cooker. That's a
Yay.
great incentive.
I'd like that.
Yeah, and allowance.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of having too much rice, also the whole idea of rice proportion to other food proportion.
Mhm.
Because we don't eat rice by itself. We usually eat it with like meat or vegetable
Mhm.
or other things. And I'm very peculiar in how much rice I have in proportion to the other food that I have. And if it's off balance, then the meal is ruined. I mean, it's not, but it is.
I have a question about that
Mhm.
because I think we might consume rice differently.
I
Do
see.
you consume rice in a bowl and like you have your rice in a bowl and then you get your dishes, or do you have your stuff on a plate or just on something, and so you have your separate stuff like your vegetables, your meat, whatever, and then your rice is there?
Mhm.
Which one are you?
So it's a plate with rice, and then on the same plate, like your dish, your whatever food is on like the
Uh-huh.
other side of the plate.
Uh-huh.
And like when you eat it, you put a little or like whatever proportion of rice you want on the spoon, and then you put the other proportion of other food onto the same spoon and then eat it in one
Oh,
bite.
like in a mouthful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I can relate to that part because I have my rice in a bowl, and then you have your other dishes in plates or
Mhm.
in bowls, which is I guess a pretty Chinese thing. I'm sure other Asian cultures do this as well, but that's how I eat it. So I have my bowl of rice, and then I guess I do proportion it in the sense that at a time I'll get a certain amount
Oh,
of
yeah,
vegetables and meat. But because do you in your like day to day use chopsticks, or do you like a spoon and fork?
I am well, in my day-to-day, spoon and fork. It depends on what I'm eating. Sometimes I'll use chopsticks just for sake of like it's cleaner.
Uh-huh.
But like traditionally, Filipino people just use hands to eat,
Right. Yeah.
which I do that sometimes. It's just like it depends on what I'm eating. It needs to be Filipino food that I'm eating.
Mhm. I use chopsticks. Sometimes I'll use a spoon, but then again, those are cultural things.
Mhm.
Like it makes sense that I use chopsticks more than you do.
Mhm.
In regards to the rice proportion, it's funny because my cousin's like spouse is Chinese, and we were all like comparing what our plates look like, and he was talking about how it's weird because he would like eat like rice and then eat like the food separately, and then he would be like, why are you guys like proportioning the rice onto the spoon with the other food? And then me and my cousin were very like detailed talking about like it has to be this much rice with this much food or else the bite isn't good.
I agree. When I
Very
eat with a
intricate
spoon, I
conversation.
agree.
But
When you
yeah.
say he eats it separately, you mean at a time. Like so he'll also have a spoon, but it'll be a spoon of rice.
Oh yeah,
A
yeah.
spoon of the thing.
Yeah.
Or
I've
like
done that before, but
maybe not even like just like he'll eat different. So if it was like meat and tomatoes and rice, he
Mhm.
would eat like the meat and the rice together, and then maybe like some tomatoes with rice, or like, but for us, we would have the meat and the tomato and the rice on one spoon and eat that in one go.
right. Mhm.
Our last category is just
Niche slash pretty random traits, because we couldn't really think of specific categories to put them in. They're kind of like
They are pretty random.
actually pretty niche.
Our first few fell into general categories, but this one is more. Oh, these are just kind of what even.
Yeah.
The first one we have is squat toilet, which the squat toilets are my enemy. I cannot stand them. I understand why they exist, but that does not mean I tolerate them.
Mhm.
I don't want to get into the detail because I don't want this to sound gross or whatever, but sometimes, especially when you're in a public washroom, people, sometimes squat toilets just end up being a little more unhygienic. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to explain why. If
Just
you want
search
to
up a
know, just figure
picture.
it out.
Yeah.
And so when I go back in China, because squat toilets are pretty popular, I will just avoid using a washroom unless it's in a place where I know that maybe they're going to have a toilet.
Hmm.
And I understand that there's many different things behind this, but no squat toilets, please. Because it's not even just public restroom. You could go to a very fancy mall and they will have squat toilet. And that bothers me. Also, just speaking from a medical standpoint, squatting is bad for your bladder. That's all I'm
is
gonna say.
it?
Yeah.
I thought that people were saying that it's better.
Because I think it's more for, I don't know how to talk about this. I think it's more for people with vaginas that it's like, yeah.
I see.
Mm-hmm. If you want to know, you can look it up. I don't want to turn this into a whole tangent.
Yeah. Well, on a weird segue from squat toilets.
Well, these are genuinely kind of random.
Yeah. Another pretty niche thing
Is ice cream on bread. Now, I think this is mainly specific to Southeast Asian cultures. In the Philippines, you eat ice cream in pandesal, which is just like a typical like dinner roll type bun thing. And I will say, it's not bad. I do like ice cream on bread, but it has to be pandesal specifically, and the ice cream flavor has to be ube or purple yam.
Mhm.
If it's not that, I am weirded out, and it's weird, and the textures are weird, and it doesn't mold together. But if it is a nice, fresh, warm pandesal, which with some nice purple, artificially colored ube ice cream.
No organic.
No, I mean it is organic, but like lots of coloring in it.
I don't know if that makes it organic anymore, Rihanna.
Oh, no, that's true. But yeah, that it's good. But if it's like chocolate ice cream on like a slice of bread, why?
White bread.
Which people don't even do that. So not that that's a thing, but
I want to try this ice cream on bread thing because I've never tried it before.
I could make you some because just be easier.
I would love that. And then we should do a taste test.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Comment down below if you'd be down for that.
Even if you're not, we're still gonna do it. So
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Why did I even ask? Didn't ask. Don't care, didn't ask. No, I'm kidding. We care.
we do.
Mhm. Just not about this.
yeah, we're gonna do a taste test.
Yeah. I think a good one to end this on would be, I don't know if I want to call it universal, but this is just the thing that's pretty niche, but also just the thing super common.
Mhm.
And it's throwing up peace sign
Mhm.
in pictures. If you don't know what to do, you're probably gonna do a little peace sign or two double peace sign.
Yeah.
And it's actually really interesting if you kind of look up the background behind this. I can't really get into the details. It genuinely would be its own episode.
Mm.
But there's this whole background about how the peace sign kind of made its way into Asian culture, and I guess made its way back into Western culture because people in the West, it's not like they've never done peace sign before in photos, but in the sense that it made it back. It's like they do it more now. You throw up peace signs in photos.
All the
I still do sometimes when I don't know what to do.
Don't we have a picture of us both throwing up a peace sign?
Do we?
I think we do. It's like our go-to.
I'm gonna look through. I'm gonna go and find that picture after this. And unfortunately, we will not show it to you.
Yeah, sorry.
When
Maybe one day.
you'll see it one day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, peace.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Speaking-
No, I'm kidding.
Imagine,
We just
and
ended.
then it fades to black.
Yeah.
Well, as Rihanna said, peace, which means we've reached the end
Yay.
of this long journey. And oh my god, I found the picture.
See, we do have it.
I feel like we have more than one picture. Of us
Yeah, we
throwing up
definitely do.
peace signs.
There's multiple.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at pictures on my phone of me throwing a peace sign with my friend. I'm looking away. Anyways, like Rihanna said, peace. We've reached the end of the lovely journey of us laughing, almost boxing, apparently.
Yeah, sorry.
About, yeah, should be sorry. About some not so subtle Asian traits. If you have any that we missed, please let us know. And also, in general, let us know how not subtle these are.
Yeah.
And if you thought that any of these were subtle, and then today you're like, oh wait, maybe not.
Maybe like some of these are just us.
Mhm.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Because we
Let us
wouldn't
know
know.
if we said something that you thought was crazy,
Yeah.
genuinely never heard of. Because it could be a geographical thing, it could be an Asian Canadian thing.
We could.
Mhm.
Well, if you guys like this episode and want to stay connected with us, check our website in the description. It contains links to our streaming platforms such as Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and more. Follow us for more behind the scenes content, announcements, and other random things we decide to put on there.
Next time, happy Asian
Bye.
Pacific, happy Asian Pacific Heritage Month.
Yeah.
And
Peace.
Rita really wants to leave y'all.
I'm sorry. I wasn't prompted for this. This wasn't in the schedule.
The schedule
Yes, our very detailed schedule.
per second.
Bye.
Bye. Peace.
Peace.